Welcome to another Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today because we're tackling one of the absolute most common, yet completely crucial, questions in modern digital experience management. And that is, does Adobe Experience Manager, or AEM, actually support headful, headless, and hybrid architectures? Well, spoiler alert, the short answer is a resounding yes. But the real magic, the stuff we're really going to dig into today, lies in exactly how AEM supports all three of them and precisely when you should be using each one. So if you've ever felt, caught in that endless tug of war between marketers who just want visual control and developers demanding framework freedom, well, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with the content delivery dilemma, then break down headful, headless, and hybrid AEM architectures. After that, we'll cover the specific tools you need for hybrid success, and finally, wrap up with how to choose your AEM strategy. Section 1. The content delivery dilemma. So here is the million-dollar question for basically any enterprise today. How in the world do you deliver your content everywhere? I mean, we're talking web browsers, mobile apps, smartwatches, IoT devices, in-store kiosks, the whole shebang. How do you do that without totally losing your unified brand presentation and your operational control? It's really the classic IT versus marketing tug of war. To really understand the solutions here, we kind of need to define our terms first. Like, what exactly is a head when we talk about a content management system? Put simply, the head is just the presentation layer. It's that front-end piece, your HTML, your CSS, your JavaScript, where your content is actually styled, assembled, and rendered so the end user can literally see it and interact with it. And boom, here is where the friction happens. Marketers absolutely need that head. They want a YSIGI editor, what you see is what you get. They want the drag and drop context. They want instant preview so they can craft the perfect digital experience. Developers? Well, on the other hand, they usually want to chop the head completely off. They want the freedom to use modern front-end frameworks, whether that's React or Angular. They want API delivery, and they really want the back-end to be entirely decoupled from the presentation. So how does AEM actually handle this conflict? Let's get into Section 2, Headful AEM, Traditional Control. Think of a Headful CMS kind of like dining out at a really fine restaurant. The chef picks out the ingredients, cooks them, plates them beautifully, and then serves you a completely finished dish. You don't have to assemble a single thing yourself, but on the flip side, you also can't easily change how it's presented to you. In AEM, this means the system fully controls the templating and the presentation logic, and it outputs fully formatted HTML directly to the web browser. Now, what's really interesting about this approach is the sheer power it hands over to the marketing team. With Headful AEM, you get that beloved drag-and-drop authoring. You get really robust built-in workflows. And from a technical standpoint, it uses server-side rendering via Adobe's HTML templating language, or HTL. This is honestly incredible for SEO, because search engines can just effortlessly crawl all that fully rendered HTML. Plus, AEM's built-in multi-country and multilingual rollout tools work seamlessly in this setup. The major trade-off, though, your developers are heavily restricted to AEM's specific templating system. And honestly, it's really primarily designed just for standard web channels. Which brings us to Section 3. Headless AEM, Omnichannel Freedom. So, if Headful is our fancy restaurant, Headless is basically your wholesale grocery supplier. AEM acts strictly as a back-end repository. It just delivers the raw ingredients, the raw data, straight to you. It totally doesn't care if you're building a smartwatch app, a mobile app, or some crazy virtual reality experience. It literally just hands over the data, and it's up to your developers to use their own tools to build the plate themselves. So how does AEM technically pull this off under the hood? Well, because AEM is built on the RESTful Sling framework, it very naturally separates the visual layers right away from the data layers. So instead of outputting HTML, AEM outputs pure JSON data. It does this mostly through structured content fragments that get exposed via REST or GraphQL APIs. This is what gives your developers 100% freedom to use React, Angular, Next.js, whatever framework they're excited about. But of course, there's a downside. Because AEM no longer controls the presentation, content authors completely lose all of their visual context and those nice WYSIWYG editing capabilities. Now, Section 4, Hybrid AEM, the sweet spot. So, the crucial point we need to make here is that AEM is absolutely not an either-or platform. It allows for a totally hybrid approach. Think of this one like a premium meal kit delivery service. You get the raw ingredients delivered wherever you want, but you also get a really clear visual recipe card guiding the final presentation. In a hybrid setup, content is created just once inside AEM, but it can be delivered as fully formatted HTML to a traditional website, and at the exact same time, delivered as raw JSON to a mobile app via APIs. The real engines driving this flexibility in AEM are content fragments and experience fragments. When we contrast them, it makes a lot of sense. Content fragments are your headless heroes, right? They focus purely on the what. It's just structured data without any design attached, and it outputs as JSON. Experience fragments, on the other hand, are your hybrid champions. They focus on the how. An experience fragment includes the content, but it also includes its specific design and layout. You can use it as part of a web page or export it as HTML or JSON to guarantee a totally consistent branded look and feel across all sorts of external platforms. Let's move into Section 5, AEM Tools for Hybrid Success. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. By leveraging AEM's fragments, you can push a single piece of content to a traditional web channel while simultaneously pushing it via APIs to mobile apps, point-of-sale kiosks, electronic shelf labels, or even gaming platforms. It is literally total omnichannel distribution, all managed from one single authoring point. Now, one massive use case for these hybrid architectures is the single-page application, or SPA, built on something like React or Angular. AEM actually provides a whole spectrum of integration levels for SPAs. You can have level 1, which is purely headless. AEM is basically just blindly feeding data to the SPA via GraphQL. But AEM also lets you progress to level 2 and level 3, where you actually embed the SPA right into AEM using the SPA editor framework. This is a huge deal because it allows your developers to go ahead and build the SPA using React, but it still allows your marketers to open up that exact same SPA inside AEM and visually edit the content in context. Building on all of that, we have to talk about AEM's recently introduced Universal Editor. This is really the ultimate modern tool for hybrid success. The Universal Editor allows for in-context visual editing for basically any architecture, whether it's server-side, client-side, or edge-side rendering. It honestly doesn't matter if your developers use vanilla AEM, Next.js, or edge delivery services. As long as the HTML is properly instrumented, marketers can visually edit it. It just completely bridges that age-old gap between headless API delivery and headful visual authoring. Finally, Section 6, Choosing Your AEM Strategy. Let's move to how this builds together and actually translates into real-world decisions. You really just need to match your architecture directly to your specific use case. If you're building a standard content-heavy marketing website where marketers absolutely need layout control and strong SEO as a top priority, for sure, go with a traditional headful approach. But if you're feeding content to a smartwatch, a voice assistant, or an IoT device where AEM physically cannot control the presentation, you absolutely need a headless approach using content fragments and GraphQL. And finally, if you're building a really dynamic React web app, but your marketing team is still demanding the ability to visually edit text and swap images on the fly, that is exactly when you deploy a hybrid approach using experience fragments or that new universal editor. And that pretty much brings us to the end of our architectural deep dive today. The true beauty of AMM is that you don't have to lock yourself into just one single paradigm. You have the exact tools you need to be headful, headless, and hybrid all at the same time. So I'll leave you with this question. Take a close look at your current tech stack. Are your developers and your marketers working in perfect harmony right now? Or is it maybe time to leverage AMM's flexibility to strike that perfect hybrid compromise? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you guys build faster, more dynamic digital experiences. Catch you next time.